So I had a terrible idea. I wanted to fill up this backpack with forge energy as quickly as I possibly could in this mod pack. So I wanted to make it like a huge generator. And I was thinking about this, and yeah, I could just make it surrounded by all of these, power all of these to max speed, and then be like, oh yeah, that's really fast. But we also have these cabling blocks, and these cabling blocks, and I really wanted to see if I could make the power transfer faster by doing something like that. And also, I'm not going to use any creative mode items. Well, I'm going to, like, play stuff out of creative mode, but I'm not going to, like, use a motor or anything. So let's just see... Well, for the final design, I'm not going to use a motor. I am going to use a motor for this, just for testing. So this seems to transfer pretty quick, if not instantaneously, between things. And it has a total power, which is that, and it adds it together, so I feel like this cable is going to work for what we need, but we can see later. So this cable is definitely transferring as fast as we need, but let's see how many of them we can stack. If I just connect these all with chain gear drives, or, yeah, encased chain drive, that's definitely what I said, then these could be shafts. I'm just going to use those because they look better a little bit, and I don't feel like grabbing a shaft for that sole purpose. But if I connect all of these up and produce that, this has 180k FE. Each one of these is generating 5,000 per tick, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. I have 36 of them. I'll just see how fast the backpack fills up now. So that's really not bad, but I feel like it could be faster. I want this thing to generate, like, the most power I possibly can. Like, I want it to just bump right up. And for that, these actually come in handy, because I can just make a whole nother row of this, and I actually made it half the width because I wanted to have it in a more compact zone, and I can just make it taller, because I'm making it taller anyway. But I can just hook these up to here, hook some more cabling in, and I don't think this has a limit, besides, like, the build height. So we are going to stack this up a few times. This will be the same as before, and see what we can do. Well, we can just put another one of those there. That's part of why I used those there. Stack that up on there. Stack this over here. And then get another row in. So let's see how it does with 3. Oh, it's overstressed, which means that it's requiring more than 200k. Bump that up to there, it's requiring more than 4 million. But it is requiring below 8 million, and I'll put a stress limiter on this, just to see the thing. We're using 3 million, which is weird, because one of these is not enough. Huh. I feel like it's using more than 3 million, but it's using more than it's saying. I'm not sure. Oh, that's remaining capacity. It's using way more than 3 million, never mind. So let's take a look at the backpack. And that's certainly going up faster, but I want to add at least one more row and see how it does. Because this is an unfathomable amount of power, and this can power any vehicle that you need for probably longer than you'd ever need. But I do want to do this in survival, so why don't we charge it up just a little bit faster, despite that being completely and utterly unnecessary. And it seems we're consuming about 1.5, close to that, SU per layer. Let's go ahead and break this layer. We're at 3,1,000, or 100,000, and now we're at 1,004,000. So we're using about 1.7 million stress units per layer of alternator that we're doing. However, let's do the backpack test. Do this here. Oh, yeah, I need to drain this out. I can just swap the battery upgrade. It's kind of funny to me that this singular upgrade is holding so much energy in it, and that upgrades are held like that, because you could hold fluid like that too. I don't think there's a way to automate it easily without using, like, CC tweaked, but you could totally have a ton more battery power just by going like that. Okay, so we have an empty backpack now, and let's see how quickly this fills. That's honestly really fast. That is decently fast, but, like, what happens if we put netherite stack upgrades in there? Now, 3 netherite stack upgrades is rather expensive, because it takes blocks of netherite and a diamond one, and you need 8 blocks of netherite for one, so you'd need, like, what's that, 24 for all 3? And that's, each of those is 9 ingots, which is 4 debris. So to make a single stack upgrade that's netherite, you need... Oh, it's not telling me the total resources. Huh. Few recipe tree. Okay, here we go. 288 ancient debris, 288 gold, just to make 72 of these, 8 of those, and then 1 stack upgrade. So this is overkill. But it does go up to 400 million. Now, the crazy generator we used in my submarine could only make 1 million total. And this is making the equivalent of 400 of those. Now, for reference, that's all of this total power, all fully generated with coral buckets in this space right here. In fact, it's only in this item. In fact, if we put a different battery in here, we can hold so much more. The backpack system is just the best way to hold power in this mod pack. Speaking of mod packs, did you know that this mod pack is on Modrin? It's called Let's Just Create. It's part of the Minecraft survival server I'm on. Pretty fun. Did I say that it was 100? I was wrong. This is 100 million. So with more stack upgrades, because this is only 2 tier 3s and a tier 4, it must have been trillion, or not trillion, billion. The backpacks can hold a lot of energy. So I am pretty satisfied with this, but if I swap out the battery upgrade, it does fill up rather quickly for all intents and purposes. Like, this takes less time than it takes you to fill up your gas in whatever car you might have. However, we also have a stack upgrade Omega tier, and we can craft this in the mod pack. So I want to see how much it, well, not takes, but like, because if I go to the crafting tree for 9 of these, that's going to be 9 times that, which is going to be like 19,000 ancient debris. And I don't have that much ancient debris, but I sure would want to make one of these if I could. But it would be hilarious to put that on a power thing, because we're just going to check that, because that's a lot of stuff. Now, for all intents and purposes, this is a ridiculous amount of netherite that I will never achieve. However, that's a lot. Let's see, that's 100,000, that's million, that's 2 billion FE, which is 1,000 times more than the previous maximum I've seen. And the fact that we're charging this at any speed at all is insane to me. And also, apparently it's thunderstorming. Fix that up real quick, and well, I guess that was kind of dramatic, so it kind of fit. But, that's a whole lot of power. GFE. I've only ever seen that in, like, Mechanism, because the lasers can charge up to that if you give them enough power, and it needs, like, a lot of power. Ironically, I didn't realize it, but this is consuming 6.9 million stress units right now, roughly. So I have to figure out how to generate that much stress in a compact space. Now steam engines can produce, I think it's 589,000 stress units at their max with blaze cakes and like level 18 broiler, but that's a lot of work, and I'd need like 12 of those, if not more. So we're gonna look at something else. And when talking about generating large amounts of stress, it's hard to not mention in one of my most popular videos, generating it with magnets. And with this generator that I designed, it produces 200,000. We need 6.9 million. So this is a tiny fraction of the way there. So I need like 34 of these. So it's actually a little bit over 34. I think I need 35 of these, at least. I do unfortunately have to space them out by like this much, so that they don't freak out and be like, oh hey, you're having too many things in the same area, you're trying to generate stress from the same thing, despite this being close enough to do that anyway. So it'll limit it to 40k if it's not, like, if this is too close to another one. Which, like, I get, but, like, I've broken that system anyway using the same blocks from transmission and linkage, and it just does not work out easily. Or, another thing I can do is just hook up these converters to an electric engine, and then I can generate, like, 1,000,000 stress units using that. And I can hook this up to the thing, and I just need a couple more of these things, and it'll work perfectly fine. Okay, with this many, we're getting, like 5k? Not 5k, 5 million? So we need a little bit more. You know what? Actually, I should draw more power. Okay, we're still getting like 5 million. And with all of this connected and said and done, and I have 2 rows of this, and I built it way, so now I have to move the wire over to this side to connect it to here, and so it's kind of a mess, but it looks pretty cool. So we have 10,000 flowing through here, and I think that I can connect that up to here, and hook it up to here, and then remove the creative engines, and everything should work perfectly fine. I've tested this small scale before, and it worked perfectly fine, but I haven't tested this large scale yet. We also have to make these... Oh, I put that in the wrong direction. Okay, so you go like that, you go like that, and then max speed? Okay, so if I put in a gearbox here... Oh, it's rotating counterintuitively to these. Which I can now put a gearbox in. And it's overstressed. That's really weird, and I'm not sure how these engines work. As soon as I hook up a gearbox, it's not even just the gearbox, it's just any load, they drop down significantly. Why would their maximum capacity SCU drop so much? So I was looking at things and how I can do this, and like the output on these changes based on the load on this thing. And it's really weird because like if I look at that, it's 59. If I look at it's still 59, but very suddenly if I like add more of those, it'll drop dramatically to like 11 or something, and then this will drop to like 600 instead of 1k. And it's really weird. But I realized that we don't need all of this power to be active all of the time. We just need it so that when we place it down, it activates to fill the backpack. So I can go with a more temporary power source that charges up over time and then disperses all at once, kind of like a capacitor. And instead of using something like a kinetic battery, I think I can do this really well still using the motors. So we can hook up something like this, hook it to the alternator. Both of these are fully charged now. We can hook up more alternators to the thing to make it charge up faster. And then hooking that up to this alternator, I press a button, it's instantly powered. I wonder if I can get more energy out of this. Okay, so these are both empty. Hook up this to power both of those are powered. And then I press a button, and these are both full. And they did overstress, but they filled before they overstressed, because of how the motor works with how much stress it has. So I'm turning 5k into motor into overstressed immediately. Okay. Okay, 5k, motor, still overstressed. One more time. It was there for a little bit, and I will take it. Okay, so now I have a really slow infinite power generator powering this thing. And I need to find a way to get this thing to store like a lot of energy to then dispense all at once into that thing. Basically, I don't even need this right now. I just need to dispense all of the energy that I can build up from this all at once. It did some more testing. It didn't work out quite as well, so I'm just gonna do some more testing. Ultimately, if you can hook up the stress that this system needs, it's going to be like the best system for it. But I feel like if I can just get a fluid hatch here, get some coral, then this produces energy insanely quickly, because it's going like by the 1,000. It's going by like the tens of thousands, and it's going by like 100,000 a second. So while it is expensive, and it does take a lot of coral if you're dispensing it all at once, I think that this might be the way to go for trying to get everything out as fast as possible. Okay, so I think the simplest system I could get for this was empty backpack, put this down here, and it does start filling up some. It's not going to be nearly as quick as any other kind, but if you have 2 backpacks, you can swap it out, which is going to be perfectly fine. We already do have some charge there, and this is more charge than... It's already been more charged than you'll probably need for any vehicle. I want to build this on the server so that I can have a vehicle and I can, like, place it down. And I might build a second one of these just to make it twice as fast, but, like, 2 alternators going at max speed isn't bad. It's not nearly as much as the 6.9 million stress unit alternator machine over there. Well, it's not nearly as good, but it's pretty fast. You could do this in, like... This is a faster charging system than most things that you'll see. Okay, I doubled that up, and we've ended up on 400,000 FE per tick, which I don't think is really all that bad. We could probably expand this out and do more, but, like, that's the expanded version of this, minus the top bit, because the top bit doesn't work. And it takes millions of SU, and this only generates 400,000? Wait a minute. We're generating bits 1 SU to 1 thing. Huh. I don't know, I didn't think about that. That's just because of how this is generated, but... That's kinda neat. For every 1 SU we get, we're getting 1 power per second. But if I go ahead and swap this battery out, wrong thing, go there, you can see it jumping up by 1 million, 2 million... Here, let me take out the battery upgrades. And then put one in just to start. That's not the right one. Apparently I have to grab a new one. Okay, but if I just put a normal battery upgrade in there, it's gonna fill up insanely quickly up to 100. That. And then if we put in that to multiply it by 8, we can get 800, and then 64. Yeah, 6.4 million and 51 million. So 51 million charging up fairly quickly definitely isn't bad. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.